Hello and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. It's July, so I think it's time for a garden tour. Now I'm pleased to say that in the past couple of days we've had a little bit warmer weather. We have had really a miserable summer all in up here in the west of Scotland. It's been not too much rain, but really dull, cold and windy. And that's not really done the garden much good at all. So it's starting to pick up a bit now. So let me show you around. Now there's been quite a bit of change on the deck just outside the kitchen door. Since I had to cut back a clematis that just died almost overnight, that was trained along with this ivy up the trellis, and I had a buddleia in the corner there that wasn't really happy with that location. So I've removed the clematis, I've removed the buddleia, and I have tidied things up a little bit and tried to jolly it up as well. So I've moved 2 tomatoes. This one is a Yellow Delight and this one is an Ace, and they were in pots just over around in another part of the garden, and I've moved these now into this really sunny, warm corner. This is the warmest part of the garden actually, and it gets loads and loads and loads of sun. So I've moved the tomatoes here and I'm sure that they will do really well here. I've also popped quite a lot of French marigolds around and about, because that's obviously very good for attracting the right sorts of insects and, you know, push comes to shove, being sacrificial if the wrong sort of insects come along. So there's some nice marigolds there too. So here I've got some bedding plants. They're called Mimulus, and they're lovely, variety of colours. I love the little speckled one there. And there's a couple of little chrysanthemums that I got at Gardening Scotland this year. I've got some more chrysanthemums. Oh, there. I know 2's even number, not meant to do that, but I just had 2 of a particular of each of these varieties, so I'm going with it. And there's some more Mimulus there. Here are my £2 Coreopsis. I got 3 of them from Morrison's. Other supermarkets are available. And I got these last year, well not these plants, but I got Coreopsis last year from the supermarket, and they did fantastically, and these are doing the same. Look at the flowers, look at the buds. There's going to be loads of flowers, and these will go on flowering all summer if I look after them. And yeah, fantastic. Coreopsis, love them. And you can cut them and take them indoors and put them in little vases along with maybe some sweet peas or some other bits and pieces from the garden. And here we have Colin guarding the not great looking teddy bear sunflowers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've just yesterday potted these, nudged by Colin, put these into slightly larger pots. They were a little bit pot bound, I think. Yeah, they're not doing much, but that can be said for a lot of stuff in the garden, and I think the weather's got a lot to do with it. But I'm hoping, I've fed them, they're in fresh compost, they're in bigger pots, so hopefully they will come on leaps and bounds. Here's another couple of sunflowers, just in pots, and these are Sunburst and Nameless. Oh no, it has got a name. Red Sun. Sunburst and Red Sun, and yep, Red Sun is going to be one of the first to flower, I think. And Sunburst is doing okay here. Nothing very startling, and there's not much branching, but I'm hoping that we'll get some multi-headed plants here. Well, some of them are meant to be multi-headed, so hopefully we'll actually get multi-heads on some of them. So we've got a couple of other sunflowers here. One is Autumn Beauty and one is Sunburst, I think. And I think I showed in maybe the June video, because it's up against other foliage, the snails were managing to get onto the sunflowers and work their way up, eating the leaves. And so what I did was I got some this copper tape that I use around my pots, and I've put it around there. So I'm hoping that if a snail is meandering up, it will come to that and decide that it doesn't like crossing that, because they tend not to like crossing copper. And certainly I think it's worked so far. I was a bit late in doing it for this one, and you can see Jing's eaten. I think that was eaten before I put the tape on, but the tape's on now, so I don't, it's a bit of a poor little sunflower now because of all the, I mean, look, there's not actually any leaves lower down. So yeah, we'll see if it does anything. That's a shame. But I was just trying to pop sunflowers where I can in the garden. There's another sunflower over here, and that is Red Sun, and that's doing fine. It's not the tallest, but it's looking quite happy, and it's forming a flower in there. And I've got another couple down here. So another one that's looking nice. That one is that Red Sun? Yeah, that's Red Sun as well. So that's Red Sun too. And this one is Sunburst. So, yeah, sunflowers are going not too badly. My buddleia is the biggest it's been this year, and lots of flowers on that, so I do hope I'm going to be getting lots of bees and butterflies on this in the not too distant future. Although I did notice that the other day, Matilda scarpering up the garden after a butterfly, so they're going to have to be on their toes if they are going to survive in the garden with these little dinosaurs. The white onions in this little trough are coming on nicely. And there are white onions in here, although the potager has got a little bit crazy. So I'm going to clear that out and see if the onions actually are okay in here or whether they're not. So I will do that today. And I've just looked here and poo. What's this? It was a beetroot, but it was a bit too crowded in there, so it's gone to seed, but I think the rest are looking okay. And there are some celeriac in the background there too. It's all very tight in here, so if I can get some baby veg out of this, I'll be happy, more than happy. Over at this side we have some more beetroot, and it's fine, it's doing okay. Again, it's going to be quite crowded, but baby veg is absolutely fine and dandy for me. It's not quantity really I'm going for, it is taste, quality I guess. And over here we have some garlic, some Picardy white garlic. A February sowing though, so I'm not holding out too much hope for them, but they're looking fine and they don't look like they need to come out yet, so I'm just going to leave them as long as I can do. Broad beans, I've already had a harvest of broad beans, and there are plenty more to get my teeth into, and they tasted wonderful. So yep, I'll be picking more of these today. And just there is one of my sunflowers. I'll pop round the other side and see what variety that is. Let's just go and look. We'll pop that in there. Move that out of the way. And look for the pesky label, which I can't find. Oh no. Could be Sunburst, could be Red Sun, or Autumn Beauty. So we'll see when the flowers come out. Colin, I'm trying to grow plants. So, Colin is keeping some of the earth warm for me. I did have some lettuce there, but fortunately I have harvested it and there was a bit of an empty space. And he does like lying in the dirt, lying in the warm soil, don't you? Eh? Do you like lying there? Oh, you're so naughty. But you're so sweet as well, so I'll let you off. And then we've got beetroot in here. We've got a bit peely-wally. That's a bit, maybe not deep enough green for anyone that doesn't recognise the term peely-wally. Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I've got a couple of, well, 3 little pots here. I did have them hanging somewhere else, but I've moved them. Strawberry. And we've got some strawberries there. And a couple of African marigolds, which were bought in and haven't flowered yet, but I'm sure they will. And that'll be lovely out here too. And obviously a little puddy tat who's keeping it all protected for me. Here in this little grow house I'm starting some other things. At the back there I've got some Bright Lights chard, and here we have some rocket, and up here we have some radish, and at the back there these are the courgettes that I sowed late because I thought the courgettes that I have out at the moment were going to die. But that's a yellow courgette, so I'm hoping to get that potted on and to get some fruit from that later in the season. And there's the other courgette. This one I bought. This is called Summer Ball. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get that in situ and get some nice courgettes from that. Here's some of my Romanesco cauliflower and some more. That'll pop out once I've got a bed free. And here's the 3 Romanesco cauliflower that I put in pots. And this is a bit of a conundrum. I put the 2 strongest ones in pots individually and covered them with this to try and stop the pigeons getting at it, and cabbage white butterflies as well. But we seem to be getting eaten. And I've got oyster shell in there and copper tape round to try and stop molluscs from eating. So what do you think's been eating this? It doesn't look like snails. Does that look like pigeon damage? Because the other thing I'm thinking, there are pigeons around here. Maybe they're just sort of landing on this and using that as a basis to munch on, you know, to stabilise themselves and munch on the leaves. This one with no protection right next door is fine. So, I don't know what's getting that. It's annoying because that was cracking. This one's looking good though. This was my first potager bed, and you'll see it's quite empty now. There was some chard in here that the chickens feasted on. I had some and then it went to seed. Then you can see the spinach here looking very beautiful after going to seed. And the pansies are just going over now. And the other thing in here was red onions, and they went to seed. So actually over here, I've just pulled out the rest of them. Small, there's my hand for a scale. But I'll use them, you know, I'll use them. I'll put them in a stew or something. They're okay. I grabbed them before they, you know, before they stayed too long after throwing up the flower spike. So yeah, so that was from, I grew them not from seed but from onion sets, and I think generally there's a bit of a challenge with red onions doing that. So yeah, I think I'll stick to white onions and grow from sets and grow red onions from seed next year. I've harvested some more broad beans. That's the second harvest from my, I don't know, 9 plants. Some of them are a bit big, but that's fine because I double peel the beans anyway. to get the lovely succulent green ones inside. So I'm looking forward to having these. The others, the first batch that I had were absolutely delicious. Okay, on the table here we've got 3 lots of carrots. Here we have tender snacks. Doing great. The bottles and poles were there to support some net that I had over the tub for a while, just to make sure that the squirrels didn't come in and dig things up. And over here we have Nont 2, Nont 5, Nont something. And again, doing fine. And then we have another little batch here that I only sowed a couple of weeks ago, and I've managed to lose the label already. It'll be kicking about, I'm sure. So yeah, another lot. In fact, I've got a packet in the house, so I'll check that out to make sure I remember what type these are. Yeah, so they're coming in. Also up here we've got my nice little £2 basin from the supermarket, and in that I have popped some more beetroot to try and keep the successional sowing thing going. And here, rather glossy and looking rather splendid, are some mixed salad leaves that I got live salad leaves from the supermarket, and I've distributed them around, some in this pot and some in a couple of other locations, just to, you know, get a quick hit on the old salad leaf front, and these are looking great. Peas, yes, lots in the making. Looking good, looking good. Even though they're right next door to the sweet peas that I showed in the video I did before this one, that's got powdery mildew. But my actual peas seem to be fine with that. And here's my poor peonies. In my June flower video, these were the stars, and that was only a few days ago. But look, they're over now for another year. But they were spectacular while they lasted. I'll just deadhead this today. They did look amazing. And here's more peas. More peas. Getting there, not quite ready yet, but getting there. That's exciting.